So we can clap again for everyone. It's been inspiring to hear who's in the room and why. It's also been inspiring to hear these fun tidbits. And just as was being said before, when women get together and share insights, great things emerge. Solutions occur. And I think today will be filled with solutions. You know, I want to invite to the podium to give us an opening reflection, someone who's near and dear to me. She and I are both Eisenhower Fellows, and we were introduced by another Eisenhower Fellow who has since gone on to glory. Mercy Wanjao, who is currently serving as Secretary to Cabinet for the Republic of Kenya, is a friend and a sister, a leader that I greatly admire. She's smart, she's caring and compassionate, and she totally understands what StandOut is looking to accomplish. I remember a few weeks ago, we were on a call on Zoom. I was telling her what we were doing, how the plans are evolving, etc. And I said, Mercy, you know, if you were me, what would you do? Who are the speakers that you would bring? And so this table filled with panelists and speakers is partly because of Mercy's insight, guidance, and introduction. So can you help me celebrate her for that? Many of you in the room here as well are here because she reached out to you. I'm from Ghana. You don't know me, most of you, but we're connected by this sisterhood of belief. There's so many of us who grew up in environments where people discounted us. Sometimes we were told we were too much. Can I see the too muchers in the house? Yeah. Too loud, too this, too extra. And we learned to mute our voices. Growing up as an immigrant living in the US, I learned to do same. In your gift bags, you have a book called Daughters of Zelophehad. It's the first book that I wrote. And it's in its opening chapters, I tell the story of my own confusion. Growing up as an immigrant living in the US, we were known as those strange Africans with the strange names. We didn't quite speak enough English when we first arrived, and so I struggled with school. I also struggled because many of my classmates would tease me, not just because they thought I was African and had a strange name. They would also tease me because they said I sounded like a boy. So anytime I would raise my hand in class to answer a question, they would snicker, they would laugh, they would say, "Who's that?" In fact, to date, I was with Mercy yesterday having dinner. We called room service, and it was on speaker. And they said, "Yes, sir. Yes, sir." I'm just so used to it now that it doesn't matter. But I started muting myself. Even if I knew the answers to questions in school, I feared the ridicule so badly that I would rather keep mute than to risk being teased, risk being laughed at, risk being the center of attention. And I share that because many of you probably have your own version of that story. Maybe you tried something and it failed. Someone gave you some sort of snide remark. Someone said, but who are you to do this? And I want you to come into the next couple of conversations ready to defeat that mindset. You are able to do whatever the hell God says you can do. One of the things that I believe is that each of us can and should seek to be the biggest, boldest, and bravest expressions of ourselves. But we can't do it by ourselves. You'll notice outside I have copies of my most recent book, The Leading Lady Way, and I'd encourage you to purchase a copy if you're able. But in chapter 2 of that book, I talk about the fact that you cannot really be your best self by yourself. You all need help along the way. And that's the problem with being mute. If you allow the voice of your past failures, past mistakes, and people's opinions to be worn like a chain around your neck, you're really your biggest problem. So that's why I'm proud of all of the speakers today, because each of them have a fascinating story. And each of them have come, or we've briefed them to come to the table, just with a spirit of vulnerability to tell you what's working for them, and so that we can share strategies to enable us to rise together. So to give us opening remarks to set the frame for today, I really want to read a brief bio for my friend, Madam Mercy Wanjao, who is Secretary to the Cabinet for the Republic of Ghana. She's a... See, I keep telling her she has a West African spirit. Now it's infiltrating into how I'm referring to her. That's how tight we are now. I feel like she's my Ghanaian sister, so thank you for the correction. So Mrs. Mercy Wanjao, Secretary to the Cabinet of the Republic of Kenya. She's a distinguished public servant known for driving bold institutional reform at the highest levels of government. As Secretary to the Cabinet, she has led Kenya's first ever automation of cabinet meetings and has spearheaded the rapid expansion of the e-citizen platform, transforming access to public services nationwide. She previously served as the Acting Director General of the Communications Authority of Kenya, where she championed Kenya's digital regulatory agenda. She's also served on a number of boards and advisory committees, including the Task Force for the Development of a Data Protection and Privacy Framework for Kenya, which culminated in it culminated into Kenya's Data Protection Act of 2019. She is a distinguished Eisenhower Fellow, an accomplished governance expert, and an alumna of the University of Nairobi and the University of Cape Town. Can you help me welcome with a round of applause, Madam Mercy Wanjao, Secretary to the Cabinet of the Republic of Kenya.
Morning, everybody. It looks so nice from here. It looks really, really beautiful. I'm really happy to join you here this morning for this very important life conversation, right? Very important life conversation. So, yesterday was Kenya versus Ghana. So, by the time I went to sleep, I wasn't feeling very prominent. I was not feeling very prominent because it was a 3-1, right? A 3-1. But then, upon reflection, I thought, why am I actually feeling this way? We took the chance. Come on, we're even hosting. And prominence is not about being number one all the time. We did not bout, we didn't throw stones, and we know how to do it. So we're actually prominent. And I'm now waiting for Tuesday, Kenya versus Seychelles. Okay, soccer mom, you're with me. We're waiting for Kenya versus Seychelles. I'm very delighted to be here. One thing people don't know about me, I love loud music. The louder, the better. The louder, the better. I have really reflected on this prominence discussion because of that soccer season that we just went through, the highs and the lows, the losing your voice, you know, when we win, and the reflections of yesterday. You can tell I'm a soccer mom. One of my daughters is a soccer girl. So I truly identify fully. And my other one is on a gap year. And this week was about developing LinkedIn profile. You see how it is, the dimensions? And I'm sure they will soon be asking, could you please follow me on LinkedIn? We all have to start somewhere. So this conversation is very, very seasonal. It's very tasteful. It's very important that we could make it here today. Did you know that the world has more women than men? Yes, it's official. Almost by a ratio of 2-1. It's worrying, actually. So if the women are that much more, then it means that women will rule the world because they are the majority. And this is part of the preparation to do it. Did you know it's only women who can chew gum and climb stairs? At the same time, there's something special about us, that you can cook, breastfeed at the same time, and take a call and still perform. So really, I'm very delighted. So distinguished ladies, leaders, and even the gentlemen who are here to support, this is a conversation whose time has come. And I'll just mention very briefly some of the initiatives that have been put in place to support the woman, the Kenyan woman, as she takes up her space among other women on the continent and in the world. Cabinet passed the Women Empowerment Policy this year for the first time since independence. And because of the fundamental principle that it carries, this policy is going to be elevated to a sessional paper. You know what that means. It means that the issues it carries, the objectives and priorities it carries, have been formally recognized as so important that they must have visibility all through. So we are looking forward to the Women Empowerment Policy coming through as a sessional policy paper for the first time in 64 years. So it's an invitation to look at that policy and ask, what's in it for me? What's my place? What should I do in order to unlock my fullest potential? It was so nice listening to the introductions that were made today, because overall, what I have heard, it's about take a chance. Take a chance on yourself. Make a choice and make the most of it. Make the most of it. Don't underestimate yourself. Sometimes, many times, maybe too many times, we think I'm not enough, I don't have what it takes. What will people say about this and the other? But remember, you're meant to be here. You're meant to be here. And you're meant to shine. And you came fully loaded, fully loaded, fully loaded. So tafadhali jiite kamkutano. For those who don't speak Swahili, call yourself for a meeting. Call yourself for a meeting. Agenda 1, prepare for prominence. Agenda 2, stand out. Agenda 3, be great. You know, jiite kamkutano. I'm here to just make a reflection, and I want to leave you with a spoken word. I like poetry, so I want to join those who like poetry, because I think poetry is not poeted enough. It's very instructive. So I will close by giving you a spoken word, because I'm also keen on this conversation. I want to know how to stand out well, to stand out for myself, to stand out for others. And I'm sure this is a shared intention for all of us. So here is my spoken word. Prominence does not arrive like lightning. Sudden, startling, and gone. No. That's not prominence. Prominence is born in the small choices, the steady hand, the firm yes, the principled no. It is shaped in the unseen hours, the many, many unseen hours in the background. When we study while others rest, or go out dancing. Nothing wrong with that. But this is when prominence is shaped. When we build while others are content to just lounge around. When we persist through applause, though applause is far away and recognition seems to miss you. Prominence is not a stage. It is a process. It is the courage to walk into a room when you are the only woman and still sit with grace. It is the wisdom to know that influence is not domination, but service. Prominence is not noise, but clarity. Not pride, but presence. To prepare for prominence is to prepare the inner life. A mind sharpened by learning, a spirit anchored in values, a heart stretched wide with compassion. Because the world does not need leaders who shine briefly. The world needs leaders who endure. Leaders who can stand steady when storms of criticism, storms of doubt, storms of failure rage. Prominence demands resilience. Every barrier will test you. Every misstep will teach you. Every challenge will reveal just what you are made of, sister. So, don't despise the struggle. It is shaping you. It is shaping the leader that you are becoming. And preparation, it's not a solo act. No one ascends alone. Prominence multiplies its meaning when it lifts others too. So, don't just climb, reach back. Build pathways for those who follow. And when prominence comes, and it will, oh, I promise you, it will, let it not surprise you. Let it only reveal what the years of quiet discipline, of patience, resilience, of courageous authenticity have already prepared. So, sisters in leadership, let us prepare. Not just for the spotlight, but for the stewardship that comes with it. Let us be found ready. As they say, be born ready, anchored, resilient, generous. Because prominence is not an arrival, it's a revelation of who we have already become. Thank you.